Welcome to episode 1 of Oracles of Olympus. This will be a bi-weekly podcast for a while on all things nerd-related in gaming, comics, movies, all that kind of stuff. With me, I have Kyle McCormick.
Hey, everybody.
And
I'm excited to talk about things.
And next to him is CJ Young.
Hi, I'm CJ. We're going to have fun.
And sitting next to my left, this is our first episode, by the way.
We're super professional at
We're
this.
kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It is a room full of gamers.
And next to my left is Ryan McGuire.
Hello.
And where can we find you, Ryan? You're Mr. Twitch, right?
Yeah. You can find me on twitch.tv at Harlem Struggle. You just replace the E's with 3's because I'm super edgy.
Super edgy. You can find me at my mom's house. That's where I like to stay. It's rent-free. I live in the carriage house. Some people call it a garage.
But it's my apartment. She's my roommate.
She's my roommate. We're adults. It's not like a parental situation. She's my roommate.
You can also find me at Twitter at the same handle.
Very cool. We thought for our first episode, we would start with news in gaming, and each one of us will talk about little areas, and I'm sure it'll get derailed as soon as we start.
I'm definitely going to derail it.
No.
Okay, then you go first.
Then I go first? There will be blood. There will be weird shit.
We're always on top.
I just like as a quick aside, the amount of neck bearding in here right now is pretty impressive. Like our neck beard powers combined, we
I didn't
are.
have time to shave today.
Yeah, so we'll talk about new stuff in gaming. There's always new things coming out. So I was going to talk about some new stuff coming out for Games Workshop and Warhammer. Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. New Year's Day Open.
Yeah, New Year's Day Open in Nottingham, which was not on New Year's Day for whatever reason. G-Dubs spoiled some cool new releases. Thousand Suns, very near and dear to my heart and CJ's heart, getting a codex sometime in the future.
Quote coming soon.
Quote coming soon, yeah. Adeptus Custodes, not Custodes. Custodes. Are also getting a new. Yeah, it's
Was that
important.
a contention?
It's in contention. It's only Adeptus Custodes if you're a Philistine. Yeah,
Custode.
you're actually a savage, like an uneducated barbarian.
Do you think they're janitors for the Emperor?
I think that they are janitors. That's why they're custodians.
They dust his rusty bones.
Right. Clean up after all of the. I guess there's probably a lot of dust since he's like a corpse, right? Like,
Yeah.
I imagine there's a continual kind of like rotten fart smell with a corpse god.
I can imagine some of the custodians walk in with like just high-powered Febreze.
Lots of Febreze. Yeah, it's actually what's in the flamethrowers.
Thank you for saying it right.
Right.
Febreze.
Anyways,
Febrezio.
Custodes getting a codex also sometime in the coming soon time frame. We do know what is actually coming out next week. For Age of Sigmar, we get the Battletome Maggotkin, which is all the new Nurgle hotness, or stankness, I guess. Nurgle stankness.
That hot stank.
The hot stank. Yeah. It smells like a hot dumpster fire and dead animals rotting in the hot summer sun. Anyway, we get we get the new Great Unclean one. We get some like new Nurgle knights riding giant bloat flies, the Rot Kings or whatever.
Also,
Blight
forget
Kings.
about the new Nagash book that was spoiled.
There is, we do know there's a new
Legions
Battletome Legions of Nagash, which I think is basically the first time there's been any love in
And my God,
AOS
does
for
Death
death.
need help.
They really do.
need some love.
They're certainly the lame duck faction, as it were. But bigger than all that, in my mind, is what else is coming out this coming week is Codex Demons for Warhammer 40k.
Yes.
And that looks like true epic hotness. There's a ton of cool stuff so far. I think they've spoiled. I know they've definitely spoiled Nurgle and Slaanesh. I think they spoiled Khorne too. I don't think they spoiled Siege. They might have spoiled all of them. I just may have missed one. Yeah. I think the thing I'm probably most excited for is the new Slaanesh release. A lot of really cool combos and synergy there. Everything basically in the entire army gets to run and charge in the same turn, which is awesome. You've got the other cool like Locust ability on characters where they basically have a bubble of -1 attack to a minimum of 1, which I thought was pretty sweet. And then that's kind of also interesting because they tie that in. I guess that one was the warlord trait, not a locust rather, but they tie that one in with the additional stratagem that does the same thing. So you can actually on your warlord stack for a -2 attacks to enemy units, which basically I think means you can really shut down the big assault units that you're seeing, like things from like Blood Angels, like Sanguinary Guard. You can kind of mitigate that really heavy assault type unit
You
and
really hurt some Death Company.
yeah, I really just kind of turn those guys into
relies on
overcosted
volume
tactical
attacks
marines.
to
Yeah,
get them
exactly.
Have fun trying to hit me with your pool noodles.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be a lot of really lame ducks trying to fight against these Slaanesh guys. I think it's kind of cool. I'm definitely excited about it. There's some good stuff coming out for Nurgle as well, and of course for Khorne, lots of fighty stuff there. So I think it's cool. I'm excited to see demons getting some love. That's definitely a big deal. Yeah.
Is there a street day yet for the Orlocks for Necromunda?
For the Orlocks, tentatively the Orlocks for Necromunda, which is the next gang. Which I'm super duper excited about. Tentatively, sometime in January. That's what they said originally, but they haven't sent us a release date. We won't know until like a week before. But I personally, I can't wait to get them because I'm going to turn my Orlocks into the Mortytown Locos. A bunch of angry yellow shirts. They're more riled up than a picture day Jessica. Like just a bunch of angry yellow shirts.
Awesome.
Morty's killing Mortys.
Yeah, I haven't got enough Necromunda play in yet, so I think that's what a lot of people around here are waiting for anyway.
Yeah, more games. I think
I'm
that's a
waiting
big
for
deal.
Adeptus Arbites.
He's waiting to be the
I
cops.
want to be the cops. I want to bring the heat, the fuzz.
Nice.
CJ's the kid, like, when you're playing cops or robbers, he's like, I'll be the cops. Everybody else is like, I want to be a robber. I'm going to hold up a liquor store. Like,
Yeah.
CJ
Yeah, no.
tickets.
he's writing tickets. He's got, like, Hot Fuzz style. Like, he's got, like, a little pedal cruiser that he's pedaling around and, like, writing tickets to the
Right,
bigger
tickets
kids.
People.
Yep.
Yeah, my assembly line's going to be justice.
Yep. He's a working Rick just like us. Only his assembly line is justice.
Oh, yeah, we're going to bring the heat.
So I guess kind of a segue into from miniature games into quote board games is Star Wars Legion is coming out.
Is
really
it a
soon.
board game? I don't
it's
know
a
what to
miniature
call it. I
game.
feel like it's a miniature game.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm not
it's-
sure, like,
Branding it as a
Sure.
it's
sure.
in like a, like, I feel like kind of like X-Wing and Armada and now Legion are kind of in that, like, almost nebulous state where it's like, I'm pretty sure they're miniature games, but then, like, a board game company makes them. But I think that, for all intents and purposes, I think they're all
I
supposed to be
think, and I
miniature
love
games.
Fantasy Flight, but I think sometimes they get into the model of everything's a board game, the way it comes out, the way it's packaged. The
Yeah,
way
I
it's
think that's a
built.
lot of
Right.
It's always a board game, rather than you're not. Like, even their card games are like board games.
I did notice recently on YouTube that Sarastro's painting is painting his now too, and they do all come separated. You have to glue them together. It's not just
Yeah, so to me that feels like more traditional miniature
Exactly.
game. Like
Exactly.
you're really building. It's not just like an open it up.
Well, and I think it has. I've been looking into the game a little bit, and I think it definitely has a lot of the aspects we've come to expect from a Fantasy Flight game. You'll have,
It's gonna have like a million tokens.
Yeah, first of all, there's a million tokens. Like, if your tokens are in your backpack and you fall in the river, you will drown.
You're dead.
It's gonna pull you under the water. But
Current has him now.
Will we need something to the tune of like 500 card sleeves right after opening the box?
yes,
Probably. Okay.
because not only will you have a unit card, you will have upgrade cards for
Well,
all of your units.
Clearly.
To upgrade your units with cool cards.
I'm really interested to see what the upgrades look like.
Yeah.
I'm-
Well, I can tell you about an upgrade.
Okay,
right
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Like, for example, they talk about in the gameplay that every unit will get to activate, so that might not be a shock to folks, but your commander will allow other things to activate or different special actions. But they have a range from what I can see. And you have, for example, long-range comms you can put on your little speeder bikes. You know those cool little mics they were speaking into in Return of the Jedi, the Scout Troopers? Yeah. With the clicking noises? Yeah, those things. So you can equip those. And then it allows those guys to use their commanders' command abilities even if they're out of range of them. So those are some of the examples. It says
Cool.
you're going to have a lot of freedom in your list building, so you could play Horde Stormtroopers, or you could try and bring a lot of equipment and make them so they Stormtroopers that hit like half the time.
So like stock stormtroopers.
Stock Stormtroopers, yeah.
Hit like half the time.
I like how you bring up that you could just play Stormtroopers because from what I hear, everyone wants to play Imperial.
Who? I mean, okay, let's be really frank here. Have you ever been like, gee, I want to be the dude in a padded jacket? No way. You want to be stormtroopers. Like when I get into the game, I'm playing stormtroopers.
Yes.
Like,
Right, and
they're
and
cool.
I don't blame you, but I dig the padded jackets.
I mean,
Like,
then you're like 1 in 500.
I'm
No,
also-
it's not crazy, but
white is the hardest color to paint. Can you imagine the sheer amount of streaky white armies?
There's gonna be a lot. I think the catch to the white stormtrooper army to make it not awful for people who want to paint it. Because white is really tough.
Yeah.
Is you just primer them white.
Yeah, you primer.
You primer them white. You pick out the joints in the armor with black.
You practice your kindergarten coloring skills.
Yeah, like it's literally like you paint inside the lines. You don't. I think you don't even line it. You don't worry about that. You just prime them white.
If any of our listeners out there would like to paint a whole bunch of stormtroopers for me, I would gladly give you a shout out on the podcast.
Drew does not want to paint stormtroopers.
You need a rattle can.
I'm literally going to primer mine white, I think, and then I might go a little bit farther since I've been painting for a while.
My stormtroopers are going to be like the ones in Rogue One. I'm going to do some sweet dust weathering effects. For them.
Dust weathering.
Yeah, that's kind of my trademark.
It's weathering, heavy weather. I guess does the stormtrooper armor doesn't really chip though.
I don't think it chips.
I don't know how.
I didn't say chips. I said.
Well, you just said your trademarks. So I was like, I'm thinking. I'm
want
going
to
down
say
the
that,
list
right?
of CJ weathering. I don't feel like
look
armor for stormtroopers chip.
That Sarastro's guy, he was doing that sponge technique.
Yeah.
You guys probably
Was he chipping their armor?
He was chipping the little walker that the rebels.
Okay, yeah, that
he was
makes
chipping
sense.
that.
Because I was gonna say I don't feel like the armor for stormtroopers isn't metal, right? It's like a
No, it's like I would assume like a polycarbonate or something like that.
sure. Well, yeah,
I just called it that. I have no idea what it really is. But,
seems good.
I like it.
Plastic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Moving
technically, I believe it's actually PVC, but
I think they've definitely learned from all of their games and the elements they're putting into this.
Yeah, I
style.
agree with that.
Like, for example, you're going to have a movement tool, so you don't need a ruler. And you're going to measure just from leader to where the leader's going to end.
Sure.
So you basically drop your movement tool, you move your leader, and then you can reposition your squad anywhere in coherency of the leader.
So it's kind of like Entourage. There's one important guy and a bunch
Yes.
of other mooks following him around.
Yes, ablative wounds, I like to call them.
ablative wounds. Yeah.
So, because they actually talked about, they're like, you don't have to worry about the back guy getting into cover. You just move your commander into cover, and then all the guys can form on his right.
Gotcha. Stack up.
Yes.
Unfortunately, none of the stormtroopers actually have any peripheral vision. It's basically wearing blinders in their helmets. Oh god, trying to figure out where they're going.
It's all going to be using their special dice as well. So it's
of course, yeah. FFG
it's very much a fantasy fight.
Yeah, right.
It's I think X-wing meets Armada meets.
I guess at this point I would be
Yeah.
weirded out if they didn't use special dice. It would seem.
Wouldn't that be strange if they're just here using?
Well, because they have so many other Star Wars games right now, and they're all bespoke, unique dice.
That Genesis game that they just put out uses the Star Wars role playing game rules in order to narrate a story and role play, and it uses the same dice system. Yeah.
I think what'll be even more interesting is the amount of people that are going to realize they can do the all black armor stormtroopers, like from Rogue One.
I thought about this morning. I was thinking about that this morning, right? You're going to have your Death Troopers, and you're going to have Crimson Guard, red stormtroopers. But my thought was they're totally going to release those, right?
Absolutely.
So then you're going to have people if you have all your stormtroopers painted up like Death Troopers, when the Death Troopers come out, how do the Death Troopers not endlessly mock your other stormtroopers? Oh, cute black armor. Don't you wish you were an actual Death Trooper? They're showing off their sick gear and shit. Oh, what's that? An E11 blaster? Oh, that's cool. I got this DL44. Really just
Special issue.
Yeah, right. Oh, special issue. It's got a sling.
You just gloss the armor on the book.
You gloss.
That's how you know your special shines.
I thought about that. I was like, how do I make my stormtroopers look different than everyone else's
You watch.
stormtroopers?
There's
So I
going to
can
be some
figure that.
neckbeard out there, some nerd, who's like, I have a whole squad of Phasma armor.
Phasma armor.
I was just thinking
Mirrored silver armor. It's tactical.
It reflects the bullets.
Yeah, Phasma's armor. Why didn't they give that to all the stormtroopers would have conquered the whole friggin' galaxy?
They did conquer the whole galaxy.
Probably dramatically less casualties.
Yeah, I feel
all mirrored armor.
I mean, maybe. I feel like there's a cost-benefit ratio there that was addressed.
Has to be. That has to be.
Emperor Palpatine's should we give them better armor?
It will cost 19 more credits a suit.
Yeah, right. Save those 19 credits.
We kind of need those for our oversized spaceship.
The Empire's, if nothing else, the Empire's about fiscal responsibility, which I think we can all really get behind. It's how you save those 19 credits per suit of armor. That's how you build a giant Death Station.
Yep.
And when that gets blown to shit, you got to keep saving, right? You're gonna build another giant Death Station. When that gets blown to shit, it's time to just hollow out a whole fucking planet and build that new Death Station.
3 times the charge.
Yeah, right. You can't possibly get blown up 3 times in a row. We'll just maybe make another trench style thing with like a. I don't know, like some sort of exhaust that's definitely not going to be dangerous to the station.
But we'll put lots of defense turrets in there.
Exactly. And we'll make the trench narrow enough that a jet can fit in it, but it won't be able to maneuver.
One thing you can't.
Or a jet or like
stubborn.
3 jets abreast. Even.
They are stubborn.
They're very stubborn. They're like, no, it's gonna work this time.
That's the counterpoint to the fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
You do what you want, right? Like.
We have enough money. We saved enough money. We get to do what we want.
Hashtag build the Death Star.
Hashtag build us another Death Star. If you're listening, Fantasy Flight.
So in role-playing games, I mentioned Genesis, but also they released the Star Frontiers rules from the old TSR series.
Ooh, TSR.
In a
name drop.
I played it a lot when I was a kid, so I had to drop the $10 to get the PDFs.
If you're not old enough to remember TSR, that's okay.
Yeah, it is all right. I am the grandpa in this podcast.
This is like TSR.
I have no freaking clue what TSR is.
Oh man.
I am. TSR.
TSR is the original D&D company.
Yeah, they're the guys who originally.
I was a minis nerd from the beginning, so
Yeah, right.
I didn't play D&D.
I'm not saying you're wrong for not knowing. You're just young.
That's what you're saying.
So like I guess TSR for him would have been like FASA, right? Like it would have been like old school Net Warrior.
Right, yeah, right.
Name drop some FASA. We're just gonna talk about dead old things now.
Earth Dawn.
Yeah, right. Betamax. We throw Betamax
sure,
in there. Like
sure.
that's sort of the same.
Anyway,
generation.
I checked out their rules, and it was a lot of nostalgia, but role-playing games have come a long ways. I will say that. They have their line of sight rules were the little drawing had a stick figure almost and dashed lines to show you.
It's like
where
my
you
level
can
of
hit.
art. That's about what I.
Yeah,
have
me
here.
too.
Right,
Me
like,
too.
I would
So,
definitely do a stick figure.
with that, we're going to take a short break here, and we'll come back and talk about what we're looking forward to in the next year.
Pee break.
All right.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, and we're back. Being it's a brand new year and also our brand new podcast, we thought we would talk about what we're looking forward to in this year, what's new coming this year in both movies, TV, gaming, all things nerdy.
Just go around the room.
Sure.
I'm absolutely looking forward to a lot of stuff this year, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So movies, there should be some great movies this year. I think really I'm just looking forward to more Marvel movies. Marvel is my jams right now. I can't stop watching.
I'm not
their
tired
movies.
of them yet.
No, I thought I would be. Honestly, I did.
Yeah.
Like we're on Avengers like number 27 or something now. I don't know. It's just good. Like
They
they
are
are
good.
literally they're like shovel money faster and they're like pouring more money on the fire. Like it's just good. If they keep burning all the money, it'll still be good, right? Like
Yeah.
at some point we'll get to a point I think where like a lot of the actors will just age out of the roles, or they'll all become vampires like Keanu Reeves and stay young forever.
So
I'm not
thinking
sure.
of some of the Marvel movies you've got coming. You've got Avengers: Infinity War. You've got Black Panther.
Yeah, Black
Actually,
Panther should be cool.
looks like
I think that's going to be a really good one.
I didn't think so, and then the trailers have sold me.
It's so I think the thing is like a lot of people probably just don't know this. Like Wakanda plays a decently big role in Marvel's universe. Like it's where vibranium comes from and a whole bunch of other crazy shit. Like it's just Wakanda is just like one of those things where it's kind of around all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a really really cool setting. And I think really essentially I think this Black Panther movie sort of sets up the setting and gives us the background to Wakanda for people who just don't know what it is for the next Avengers movie.
Right. Yeah,
Because I
it
think
looks
that's going
like
to take place all
Infinity
in
War,
Wakanda.
at least part one, takes place a lot in Wakanda.
Yeah,
I'm
so
actually
it's
really
important.
excited about Infinity War.
I am
I'm
too.
really excited.
I'm excited to, like, I'm having a really hard time conceptualizing the budget for that movie because it's gotta be like, well, we spent $1 billion on this one, but Disney's got enough money they can just throw it at whatever because they have like literally like all of the actors. So just in this movie, like, are you an actor? You're in this movie. They're all there. And they're all gonna interact. Like they might only be there for like 15 minutes or something, but they're all there. It's like, oh, you work in Hollywood? Cool. You're in Avengers. Like everybody, right?
Yeah.
I really hope Guardians, because I really like Guardians. I hope they play a big part.
Yeah, me too.
They don't just show up at the end.
I'll be
Hey, we're
really
here.
disappointed if it's just like, oh, they come off a ship and it's like, oh, what the fuck? That's a spaceship. That's weird. Like,
Right, exactly.
everybody's like, seems like not the weirdest thing we've seen today. But it's still strange.
Oh, what I'm excited for is finally seeing Thanos to do anything. Like every other movie, he's just in his swivel lazy boy.
Right? And he's like, I'm
belligerently
setting up a
threatening
plot.
people.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
right.
He's like that guy who you can tell he actually has no plan, but he's like trying to reassure everyone.
Right.
He's like, it's gonna be awesome, guys. I promise. Like just wait. It's gonna be great. So finally, he comes out of a portal and gets to punch people, and that's pretty.
Yeah, no, it should be exciting.
It was neat to see him walk. You know, I
yeah.
was like, I didn't even know the guy could walk.
He's just in a
Read more
hover
comics. You'd know he could walk.
About Deadpool 2. Are we excited for
Deadpool,
that?
I mean, I'm super excited that Cable is going to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Deadpool 2. It is the hero that we deserve.
It is.
Not the hero that we
It's definitely the movies that we've deserved.
absolutely.
Just as dirty human race.
Yeah,
We need that
it's what I want. I'm also excited that there's a huge possibility now that we get like more X-Men movies and not by
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited that someone like wrenched away control from Fox, because like Fox is like your drunk uncle at like any family gathering ever, and he's just like trying to run the show and he's just hammered drunk. Like he's got some fun ideas but just never sees it through, and Disney's like Disney's kind of like the matriarchal figure who's going to like kind of balance things out a little bit more and be like, no, you should just go sit down. You've had enough PBR for one day, right?
He's like, no, screw you.
We've got
he's like
Ant-Man
super-
and the Wasp coming too.
I'm also super excited for that. Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd.
Yep.
And I
then
think
let's
that
see
would be
what's-
really, really good.
Who's that? She's playing the Wasp.
Evangeline Lilly?
Yeah.
she was in the first Ant-Man.
Okay.
She was in Lost, right?
Yeah, I think she's in Lost. She's in a few other things too, I'm sure.
Meow.
I'm just more like hooked on like Paul Rudd as like he's like fantastic.
Yeah.
We've
right.
got a remake of The Predator coming.
Is it a remake or is it like a new installment? I don't
No,
know.
it's literally it's
a
the
reboot?
sequel / reboot of the 1987 original.
How do you have a sequel / reboot? Like,
I
what does
don't
that look
know.
like?
I
How do you
don't
imagine
know
that like
this
that
guy.
pitch meeting went
Spider-Man
like?
did it. Spider-Man Homecoming is a...
Is it a sequel? What's
It's
it
not
a
a
sequel
sequel.
to?
Yeah.
It's a reboot of a reboot.
It's a reboot sequel.
It's a
requel.
re-release.
Yeah.
It's
Special
all I have to say
edition.
about that is it's going to be really hard to beat Arnold, and that's true. Get to the chopper.
I mean,
You're one
yeah, it'd
ugly
be like,
motherfucker.
yeah, what the hell are you? Like, he's just super.
I really like the montage in that movie where it's just like tribal music. It's like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun,
Right,
and
he's,
just
like,
mushing
smearing mud, like-
and it's just like 5 minutes of that, and
Right.
nobody questioned it.
I
It was great.
appreciate how much time he had to smear mud. He wasn't like in a complete like I've got to be quick about this because there's a space alien hunting me. He's just like
leisurely-
slowly spattering mud on his face.
and he's just leisurely like, that'll work.
Yeah, like I found the right mud that I like. Look at my face.
Jesse Ventura ain't got time.
I know, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a really good cast in that whole
No,
movie.
it's like old Painless is waiting.
Right? Oh God.
It's a good cast. I have to say, I'm really
It was a
excited
muscle
for
food cast.
Was.
Pacific Rim 2.
Yes.
God.
I don't think that there's a scenario in which I will ever be satisfied with giant robots. Like, there's not going to be enough giant robots in my life ever. Like, that's
I
what
have
I
to
need.
say, for those that are listening that are 40K nerds, I love Titans a lot. And so Pacific Rim was basically the greatest movie ever made, in my opinion. I know it's a bold statement, but I'm just going to go with it.
Greatest movie ever made. You heard it here first, guys. Because I guarantee no one else has ever said that. It was good. It was real good. I was very entertained.
Yeah.
I like Ron Perlman.
I've only watched like 19
Who doesn't like Ron Perlman?
Who doesn't like Ron Perlman? Yeah, right. Like,
I mean,
if you don't like Ron Perlman, you should probably get a CAT scan because you're probably a pod person. You're not. You're definitely an alien inhabiting a body.
I have to say also, Super Troopers 2 should be coming out.
Yeah, like
I feel like Super Troopers 2 was supposed to release last year because I remember seeing like a thing about it like actually
supposed to
finally
release,
coming
like, 10
out.
years ago?
Yeah, it's only like 10 years too late, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I just hope it's not another Independence Day debacle.
my
oh
vote
man,
is
Ooh, that was so
That was
bad.
rough.
That was sorry for anyone who went to that movie showing with us. That was That was my bad.
Yeah.
I will take full responsibility for that. I wanted to
wanted to
see
be good.
something that was going to be good. Like it was the member berries. They held like Independence Day in front of me, and I was like, "Welcome to Earth!" Like I was so excited for like punching aliens.
The trailer was better than the entire movie. I could have watched the trailer and just ended there.
Right, and be like satisfied.
Yeah,
that was good.
And then how could we not mention, with all of our Star Wars fans, Star Wars a solo movie?
A solo
Solo's
movie.
movie.
Han Solo. I was
May 25th. We don't even have to wait till December.
Yeah, I was looking at some articles and stuff about that last night. I'm hopeful.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, tentatively this could be good.
I hope so. I hope it
It
follows
has
the
Woody
same
Harrelson
thing.
in it.
It does have Woody
Emily
Harrelson.
Clark.
It also has like some dude who I've never heard of playing Han Solo.
That's what they love
That's
doing.
I mean, it's
That's
very
fine
Star
with me.
Warsy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, they did.
I would have just
They did
preferred
a lot of that with Rogue
Harrison
One,
Ford
and
with
it was
lots of
great.
makeup.
Harrison Ford, they just Benjamin Button Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's like, sure, he's 76, but he's going to be 19 in this.
Right? He's still got the same like kind of like monotone, boring
And we'll
voice,
still
like,
love it.
punch it, Chewie. Like
I mean, if they follow the
totally
same kind of theme and feel of Rogue One, it'll be a great movie.
I think right,
yes.
that's it. Right, they have to nail the like Rogue One feel goods. This Rogue One is still my favorite of the new
It
Star
is
Wars
my
movies.
favorite of all of them, yeah.
It's so good. I hope they nail that kind of feel good, and I hope they find some new ships that we can definitely see show up in X-Wing.
I'm
I'm sure they will manage to sneak a ship or two in there.
I think what to me really is awesome about Rogue One, and I think will be good about Solo versus the other movies, is that you don't really have the Jedis, you don't really have the superhuman aspect. It's regular people in this universe.
I agree.
And that's what I loved about Rogue One is you have director, what's his name? Is it Isard or something like that? The bad guy?
Director Krennic?
Krennic. I don't know where I
Isard.
say Isard from. Probably a cartoon. I'm thinking of one of the characters.
Okay,
Anyway.
sure.
Not a Sith, still a good bad guy. You have the crew that's fighting, not Jedis, but still pretty cool good guys. And they're kind of not like your classic good guys.
I think the catch to being a good bad guy, if you're not going to be superpowered, is a snappy uniform. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Snappy dressers always make great villains. Like,
My
look at all of
favorite-
Bond's villains.
Yeah,
That's why I
Snappy
keep wanting
dressers.
Thrawn to show up, man. He was.
I don't think they're ever gonna.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do.
My favorite line.
I don't
is
either.
Like, are we blind?
He's one of those characters where I feel like it would be really hard to do.
All right.
That's gonna sound really weird.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's gonna be fucking awkward.
I'll add some shit to it.
Add something to
Can you
that.
fix that in post?
Yeah, fix it in
I-
post. We do a
yeah.
lot of heavy editing.
I know what my evening's going to be now.
The title of the first podcast is heavy editing. I feel like
Edit this.
edit this.
heavy panting.
So we did what we're looking forward to in movies and pop culture and whatnot. We should probably talk about gaming since this is a gaming podcast.
Yeah, it's like a gaming podcast and just rambling ad nauseum. Too.
Pretty much.
I'm good at
Also,
that
it's
rambling.
pretty nerd culture-y.
It's nerd, yeah, sure.
Basically, just recording what we already talked about.
I'm excited for Rivals of Ixalan. Rivals of Ixalan is out. This pre-release is next weekend.
That's
January.
Magic?
Yes, it's Magic the Gathering. Everyone who needs to know will know what I'm talking about.
Magic Gathering,
Magic Gathering, it's the second half of the Ixalan block. So more pirates, more dinosaurs, more treasure, more conquistador vampires, which really I like. Although I have to say, I'm also super excited for Dominaria. That's the next set of Magic, but we don't get that until spring. So it'll be a ways down the road, but I do think Dominaria will be really cool. That's kind of like the original big Magic set. The original plane or whatever, I think, where all the goodness happens. But yeah, Rivals of Ixalan coming out this weekend, pre-release this weekend, comes out in full the following weekend. I think it'll be really cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Other things in gaming, I mean, for us, there's a lot of big tournaments coming up. This tournament season for like miniature wargaming is really getting kicked off.
Las Vegas Open.
Yeah, which is
Adepticon,
LVO is both the end of the year for tournaments and the start of the year for tournaments.
And you guys
They're
are
really
going
both
to
in one.
Adepticon, right?
Yeah, we're both going to Adepticon. That'll be the
Las Vegas
biggest.
Open.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
Adepticon
a year
is
of
the biggest
conventions
one.
for us.
Yeah, it is. There'll be a lot of
I'm
cons.
going
We'll bring all kinds of fun reports for all you
Yeah.
boys and girls
All the cool
listening out
stuff.
there.
FFG will spoil something at Adepticon for sure. Like they'll announce something because they usually do.
I'll bring
They'll
back
announce
something
at
from
LVO
Gen
too.
Con. I'm going to Gen Con this
Oh,
year.
yeah, you're going to Gen
And PaizoCon.
PaizoCon.
Ryan's just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just
Someone's got
I'm
a
going
band
to the
that...
small ones because I'm not really like.
You've got to fight in Capua before you can fight in Rome.
Right.
You can't just
gotta
go
fight
to the
dirty
Colosseum.
mud arenas. I
Yeah.
gotta fight in the dirty mud arenas.
Didn't you watch the movie Gladiator? Russell Crowe doesn't start out in the Coliseum. He starts out in like some dude's backyard. It's like literally backyard wrestling version of Gladiators.
That's what I gotta do. So
Yeah.
on that note, I think I'll be at Genghis Khan.
Genghis
Awesome.
Khan.
I'll be
There
there too.
Yeah.
I will not be there.
That's your problem.
I get to go fight in the arenas. CJ gets to stare at me and be like, "Win for me."
So I'm going to go to Genghis as well to play with some of the folks that I've met through Savage Worlds Gaming and whatnot. And one thing I'm excited about is playing more of these indie hippie games. I played one a couple weeks ago called The Fall of the Magi.
Nerd.
And yeah, it is way out there. It's like you think D&D is the basement dwellers like subculture. This is
Is it? I think D&D is like not even like it's super popular.
It's really
now.
risen to the top.
Don't feel
hasn't
bad if you love D&D. I love it too.
Yeah.
It's
D&D's
phenomenal.
great.
Pretty
But I did
people
read
play it
something
now.
where they think it's more popular now than it was in the 80s.
D&D, it has to be because like you can look at like things like Critical Role, like Matt Mercer.
Like Stranger Things has helped.
Yeah,
too,
right. Stranger Things,
Mm-hmm.
Big Bang Theory. As much as I'm not a Big Bang Theory fan.
No.
I think it's blackface for nerds. But
Right.
But also,
it super is, dude.
It's got hot
also
chicks in
I
it.
really like it.
I do too.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel plays D&D, and he is super open about it. Like on talk
There's
shows,
a
he
lot of
started talking about
famous
his D&D
folks that do,
characters.
yeah.
I was like, whoa,
I want to play.
that would be awesome,
with
right?
Vin
I want
Diesel.
to play D&D with Vin
Do
Diesel.
you think we could get him as a guest appearance?
Yeah,
I'll work on it.
I'll drop him an email.
Drop him an email, see if Vin will come out.
See if he'll come out for the secret, special,
yeah.
super awesome RPG that I'm working
He
on.
lives his life one character at a time.
Yes,
Yeah, one
to
character
come to be unveiled soon
be
is a
unveiled
super
soon.
secret role-playing game that we'll be recording that Kyle's writing.
God, I'm writing it. It's gonna be so good.
It's not
I'm
gonna be
really
like,
It's going to probably be R-rated version out there for the parents.
It might be R-rated, but isn't any? I mean, everything's better R-rated, right? Like Deadpool.
you want to tease it a little?
Do you want to tease it a little bit?
No.
We're gonna sit on that. Okay, sure.
I have to
It's gonna be really good. I can say that.
If you need a co-writer, I am so down.
What are you excited for?
I'm looking forward to seeing Star Wars Legions fleshed out as a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think that it's hard with two factions sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to worry about it getting monotonous or repeating a lot. I think that can get changed up as you start to add a lot more units. So that if the armies aren't literally just stormtroopers and rebel troopers all the time, and you actually have enough variety that you can play different forces, I think that'll be exciting. And I hope we get a third faction at it.
I hope we do too.
I demand Wookiees and bounty hunters.
I really
Yes.
just want a probe droid so I can make the noises the entire time.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be good. I mean, arguably it'll be
Yeah.
kind of crappy. It'll just
Yeah.
have like a blast pistol or whatever. But yeah, right, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I want a probe droid.
Yeah, who doesn't?
For reasons.
Yeah.
And
You want to like get a pen injector that shoots it from 6 feet up on the table.
Absolutely.
I have a wish list item. Can we go with wish list
Absolutely.
item?
Wish list
Wish list item. If anyone from Forge World would ever deign themselves to listen to our humble podcast, please move Heresy to 8th edition.
Oh my god.
Right?
Long live
Kyle and I are
heresy.
Heresy players.
Long
but
live heresy. Heresy is dead.
I hate to say that. I have like 5 armies. I helped build the Heresy community here. It was my first love for many years. But it's time to move to 8th
dead.
edition.
It's so dead,
It's
right?
time to move on, everyone. Get out of the denial of 7th edition and let's move forward.
When I moved here, like there's all these beautiful Heresy armies on display, and I was like, oh man, maybe I'll get into it. And literally everyone shouted at me, don't. Just don't.
waste
Just
it.
wait until the rules update. And I was really bummed.
I mean, to be fair, right? I had a blast playing Heresy in 7th edition. There was nothing wrong with it. It was fun to play.
Yeah.
8th edition is just what I'd rather play now.
Right.
It's not that I wouldn't have a good time playing 7th. I just want to play 8th.
At this point, like I can't go back. It's like, you know, sometimes you get nostalgic and you play your Sega Genesis, but you're never like, oh boy, these graphics are so good. Look at all this cutting edge gameplay. Like, no man, it's
When you
just
play James Bond, you're like, it's so lifeless.
yeah, right. Like, all right, GoldenEye, here we come. Like, look at the giant blocky heads. Like, no one's ever
I
felt
just
that
don't want
way.
armor values back on my vehicles.
And yeah, I don't either.
I don't like vehicle arcs now that I don't have to worry about them.
Right? Hey, you wanna attack with 20 grenades in this assault?
Yeah.
Just kidding, you can't. It's for the rules. Like-
The only thing I miss the variety in cover. 8th edition is a little lacking on the variety in cover. Like that's my biggest complaint.
Yeah, that's fair. As a guy who used an army that denied everyone cover saves, it doesn't really make a difference to me, I suppose.
Well, not everyone played Iron Warriors. Okay?
Well, not everyone is right. We live in a society where it's okay to be wrong.
I very much like that the Stone Ruin gave me the better save than the wood fence or bush I'm hiding behind.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also like that I
there's
got a
less
cover
variety.
save when somebody was firing through woods. Now it's just like, haha, you're not in the woods. It's not going to hit the tree.
Curve the bullet. You just curve the bullet.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Everyone's just a wanted assassin.
Right. I'm also looking forward to this year really getting into L5R. Like I've picked up L5R. I've meant to play it for
I don't
quite a
think people
while.
know what L5R is.
Legend of the Five Rings. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Legend of the Five Rings. It's a card game by Fantasy Flight, who essentially Fantasy Flight, if you don't already know, makes all of the board games.
Essentially, Fantasy Flight is gaming, right?
Yeah.
now.
If it doesn't come from Fantasy Flight, then it's Cool Mini or not, or it's trash. So, like that's kind of. I'm sure there's tons of indie game designers out there that are good and all that. But basically, if it's a
Asmodee
big game.
basically has bought the world.
Yeah, Asmodee is like the Disney of board gaming.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, they also have all of Disney's licenses, so there's there's that. Shocking,
Conspiracy, maybe.
right? Seems strange.
I'm looking forward into doing some more of the legacy games. Currently playing 3 of them. I'm playing actually the first season of Pandemic Legacy and Gloomhaven, and also we just broke open Charterstone, which is totally cool. I just dig.
Because I didn't know, Drew. I didn't know what legacy games are. For those who don't know, you want to tell folks what those are?
Sure. So legacy games are kind of a trend right now that it's a game that you buy and you play once all the way through. So in terms of Charterstone, you open it, there's 12 one-hour adventures in it, and throughout the game you're sticking on stickers to the board, you're writing on the board, you're tearing up cards. There's some cards that have like those old scratch off tickets where you scratch the little card off and it either gives you an additional rule or a weapon or something like that.
You said like scratch off ticket, and immediately my head went to like Requiem for a Dream. For some reason, there's like scratch off tickets and drug addicts. Like I don't know why. Yeah, right. It's like one of those things that just pops into my head.
Yeah. So anyway, they're
Refrigerators
really
that's
popular.
It's really tough to live in my mind. It's
I know.
it's just kind of like
I know
scattered all the time.
I imagine it's what like Bedlam in London would have been like. Like circa 1870.
Yeah, right. Like it's basically like a sanitarium.
Yeah.
There. There's just like lots of nutty
Screaming
stuff
and
going
crying.
Ideas are
laughing.
Ideas are locked up in different cells,
Yep.
and then randomly one will open.
Yeah,
so it
right.
just
Like
pop out,
ideas just kind of fall out of my head sometimes. Yeah,
and he's
that
just
happens.
like Ben Franklin in a bikini. And
Yeah, right. Yeah, like
we're
so.
like, whoa, all right.
I'm gonna hijack Drew's segment there
So
and talk about my
legacy
craziness.
games are really popular right now.
Legacy games, you're right though. Legacy games are super popular right now.
Right.
I mean, it kind of started with like Pandemic Legacy, and now we've seen over the past, because that came out last year, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Pandemic Legacy.
Ish. Right.
So over the past year, we've seen something like maybe like 6 or 7 new legacy games, which doesn't sound like a lot, but as a growing genre, I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
And it's got to jump that hurdle of somebody's thinking, I'm spending
Right.
$80 on a game that I'm possibly only going to get to play through one time. Now, some of them are selling recharge kits. So
Recharge kits.
Yeah. So for Charterstone,
To make your legacy game less legacy. Okay.
bingo. Bingo.
Seems-
So you can get
Feels counterproductive, but I love it.
See, in Charterstone, you can play through it once. You can flip the board over and buy the recharge kit, which is like $20, and play through the whole thing again.
Oh.
So, but if you break down,
Would you like to unlegacy your legacy game?
it's
Buy a
no
recharge
different.
kit.
Right? It's no different than what they're doing, with the video games. At least for me, when I buy a video game, I play through the campaign. I've dropped $70 on it,
Sure.
and then I usually trade it in, or I never play it again. So. It's kind of the same model, but this is a board game, and it's more fun
It's
than a
definitely
video
different.
game.
I think the interesting thing about legacy games is they all seem to be made by kind of big publishers like FFG or its subsidiaries, or Asmodee subsidiaries rather, and so they all seem like they're really good games. And I think there's a lot to be said for these games being made by essentially big publishers, because last year and all throughout 2017 we had more than 365 board games released last year. So that's literally essentially one board game for every day of the year.
Game a day.
Yeah, right. So with a market that is like now become so flooded with options, you really have to pick and choose. And it's even just from like a retailer perspective, it's really crazy to just even try and figure out what do we even stock.
I think Gloomhaven
there's so
was
many
actually done
choices.
by a smaller company, but
I think Gloomhaven
these
is, but
these things
it's kind of
rise. They
similar.
rise to the top. The Board Game Geek is what kind of drives me on what I'm looking for. and what's hot.
Honestly, I think Board Game Geek kind of drives the majority of the community. For your serious hardcore.
Yeah, if
board
you look
gamers.
at, I think Pandemic Legacy is number 1. It's been there for a while.
It has been up there for quite a
So
while.
I'm playing through that right now. I'll be able to give a
Scythe's
good
gotta be
review
pretty
on
high in
that.
there too.
Huh?
Right? Scythe's got to be pretty high in there too.
Scythe-
Not that that's legacy, but it's possibly the best game I've played in the past year.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm chomping at the bit to try it.
Yeah, if they
Everyone
make
keeps-
more Scythe, I think I might be able to get some actually soon. There's some Scythe I found on the East Coast, so if I can get some from the East Coast, yeah, right. If I can get enough Scythe together from the East Coast to ship it to us, then we might be actually able to get some more Scythe in here.
What are you excited for, Ryan?
In the world of gaming,
Yeah.
So I'm mainly excited to see what new things are coming out for like Warhammer. I'm really, as we talked about earlier, really excited about the Custodes.
That's right, not
yeah,
Custodes,
yep.
Custodes.
The Custodes. Really excited to see what cool options that they get, what cool features. I saw some jet bikes with lances, which is awesome. Really excited to see what the Thousand Sons are bringing in their codex.
Less crappy. That's all.
Yeah,
I want.
yes.
Less crappy.
Yes, and I'm also really excited for this Demon Codex because I've turned into a Chaos player at heart, so I gotta.
You joined the good guy side.
Yeah, the good guy side.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't follow the corpse anymore.
Although I admit to having a slight love of the Adeptus Custodes.
I have
Yeah.
I have a big love and I'm getting.
I just got a fangirl for 1 second over those new plastic jet bikes. Holy crap, are they cool looking?
Yeah.
They are
and
incredible.
very pretty.
It looks like they have hurricane bolters.
Yes, and they're in plastic. Thank you, someone at GW who came up with that idea. I will buy you dinner if you let me know who you are, because that is awesome.
Right now, there's like a
Plastic Terminators.
hungry
characters.
English guy. Plastic Terminators, yeah, that seems cool. I mean, everything's going plastic, right?
It is.
Basically, there's
They could have totally hosed us and just been like, Forecast Terminators.
fun cast. Like, oh
You'll have a
no.
great time, and then there I am, filling in bubbles.
Yeah, right. It's a really highly detailed resin for miniatures.
Like,
Like,
oh,
no
the
thanks.
sword didn't finish for me.
Do not want 4 out of 10.
Would not recommend.
Would not buy again. Finecast. Every time I see something in Finecast, my heart sinks just a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's taking all of the worst qualities of
have
plastic
to
and
know.
metal and combining them into
There's
one
some
brittle
British dude
package.
sitting in a boardroom in Nottingham, like, it's really not that bad. It had a bad reputation when it started. Like,
Yeah, well,
like vehemently defending it because if you think they're not making new stuff in Finecast again, guess again, folks. They just made Sly Marbo.
Slime Marbo's Finecast. God, I was so disappointed
Like
to find
it
out it
literally
was
stole.
Finecast.
It was like a child realizing there was no Christmas when Kyle saw this.
It was so
the Sly
disappointing.
Marbo was in Finecast.
I like opened up the box and he's Finecast and I wanted to cry. Like
Yeah.
I know, like, oh why? I'll never use you now. I'm not even gonna remotely attempt to put this model together. I was just like no interest in it. It's dead to me. It was dead on arrival. Opened the box up and I was depressed.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean,
Well,
Finecast.
I think this will wrap up our first podcast.
I want to have like a really like fun like saying goodbye like moment, kind of.
Y'all come back.
Yeah, right. Like I imagine like a really folksy like, oh, thanks for coming down to visit, and you're like waving. I'll be waving the whole time, not that you can see me. but
I'm waving
it
at you
helps
too,
me,
folks.
yeah.
For our 3 listeners that'll listen to this,
Right. All 3 of you are awesome.
And in this room.
And in this,
It's like a theater with just one person. It's
Yeah.
like, you guys are great.
if you were in a theater with just one other person, and that other person is Mr. Bean, Get Out.
Yes.
Or Pee Wee Herman. Was it Pee Wee Herman? That
It was Pee Wee- yeah,
Pee
Pee
Wee
Wee
Herman.
Herman.
Get out. Just get out.
What is what's his name? The video, Your Spirit Animal.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Shia
LaBeouf. He is my spirit
Just
animal.
performing only for Shia LaBeouf. Yes.
I like to think that he's always watching.
Always watching and then
Yeah.
applauds us at the
Right.
end. Standing ovation. Just
Yeah,
him.
absolutely. He's just
Yep.
Shia LaBeouf, if you're listening, we love you.
Please come play D&D with us.
Please. Oh my God, that'd be
That would be the
amazing.
best. I know
Come
you
play D&D
hitchhiked
with
through
us.
here once. Please do it again. You're welcome to stay the night at my place.
I
That's
will.
creepy.
I know at
don't
least
I
one
can't answer
person.
that. Yeah, I might resend that.
I know at least
I
one
might have
person
to
we can
lock the
feed to
doors,
him.
And with that,
but I'll just barricade myself in my bedroom.
guys, we'll see you next week.
See you
Have a
guys.
good one.